Good morning, students. Once again, Karuna Jugle teacher welcomes you all for today's geography lecture. The topic for today's lecture is chapter number 2, location and extent. Today we are going to do the revision of the main points which we have studied in detail in chapter number 2, that is location and extent of India and Brazil. But before that, we will revise the solution set of assignment 1 which I had given you in the previous lecture. That assignment was based on lesson number 1, that is field visit. So first, let's try to discuss the answers of that question. I expect you must have solved that assignment for practicing. So please students take out that assignment whether you have written in rough book or on a full scape and then try to cross check the answers. If you write on a full scape, then try to maintain that all full scapes in one file, so it will help you to keep a proper record of all the revision work which you have done related to geography subject. So let's start, students. Now this was the assignment number 1 which I gave you in the last lecture. It was based on chapter number 1, that is field visit. Total 20 marks, and we have revised maximum questions which are asked in this assignments. Now let's revise in short the solutions to these questions. Question number 1, fill in the blank. Number 1, an important study method in geography is field visit. Number 2, sacred groves or sacred patch of forest are called as devrai. Number 3, a large reservoir of fresh water is called as lakes. Number 4, the plantation of trees to increase rainfall, especially in mountainous regions, is known as vanrai. So these were the fill-ups. Question number 2, answer the following sentences, right or wrong, and correct the wrong ones. Number 1, the application of controlled amount of water to plants at needed intervals is called irrigation. This sentence is right. Number 2, projects which serve only one purpose are called multi-purpose project. No, this answer is wrong. So the correct sentence is, projects which serve more than one purpose are called as multi-purpose projects. So students, please cross-check your answers. Question number 3, answer in one sentence. Number 1, what are the materials to be carried during a field visit? Answer, materials to be carried during a field visit are map, notebook, pen, pencil, scale, tape, magnetic compass, binoculars, ziploc bag, first aid kit, camera, questionnaire, etc. Second question, what is a questionnaire? So what is the exact meaning? A questionnaire is a list of questions, usually printed, submitted for replies that can be analyzed for usable information. In short, it means a list of questions which we have decided to ask to the people who are present in that particular area where we have decided a field visit. Next, question number 4, give geographical reasons. Number 1, there is a correlation between pulse cropping and rainfall. Means depending upon the crop which grows in a particular area, there is a relation with the rainfall which is there in that region. So let's see how. Point number 1, extreme weather events during growing and harvesting seasons can cause serious damage to crops. Number 2, pulses are very sensitive to torrential rain, especially in the early vegetation stage and flowering stage. 3, a high quantity of rainfall can cause disease, infestation in crops, and therefore pulses are grown in places where there is less to moderate rainfall. So these are the points expected to be written in this answer. Number 2 question, do you agree that regions and necessities influence the difference in the means of livelihood? Means, do you think that depending upon the region, the area, the necessities, the means of livelihood of a person also differs? Let's discuss. Point number 1, a person's livelihood refers to their means of securing the basic necessities of food, water, clothing, and shelter. Number two, to acquire the above necessities, people work either individually or as a group by using the skills for meeting the requirements of the self. The activities are usually carried out repeatedly. Number three, for example, a fisherman's livelihood depends on the availability and accessibility of fish, and depending on this, primary, secondary, and tertiary occupations will develop, like making of boats, nets, fish canning, transportation, etc. Now, you can also give another example. Here we have given the example of fisherman. You can also give some another example to show that the area where the person is living, according to that, the necessities and the means of livelihood will differ, means it will keep on changing. Means if a person is living in some desert area, his means of livelihood, his necessities, his requirements will be different as compared to the person who is living near to the coastal area where there is enough amount of water. Next is, field visit is an important study method to study geography. We have already discussed the importance of field visit can be outlined with the help of following points. Why field visit is considered as an important method if you want to study geography. Point number one, field visit helps in understanding various geographical concepts, elements, and processes through direct personal experience, because we are visiting that place directly, we are physically present over there, and so we can understand these concepts in a better way. Second, it helps in understanding the correlation between humans and environment. Field visit helps us to understand how the human beings living in that area have a direct relationship with the environment. It helps in enhancing the understanding and sensitivity about historical, economic, social, and cultural facts about the selected field. It makes the study of geography more interesting and supports the application of knowledge. Now, whenever you do anything practically, naturally it becomes more interesting. And field visit is a part of practical visit. We are visiting a particular place practically, and that's why it becomes very easy to study geography, and also the entire process becomes interesting. Plus, it helps us to gain a lot of knowledge. So these points are expected to be written in this answer. Question number 5, which items will you take with you for the field visit? Now this we have discussed but in short, so we'll just go through it. We will take the following items with us for the full field visit. To note down all the information, we will take notebook, pen, pencil, scale, camera, etc. Compass for knowing the directions, and maps for understanding location, means which path we have to follow, which road we have to follow, which direction we have to move. For that we require compass and maps. Questionnaire as per the purpose of field visit. The place where you are going to visit, depending upon that, you will prepare the list of questions. Containers or bags for collecting the samples of water, soil, rocks, plant, crops, etc. Also a cap, a bottle of drinking water, first aid box, etc. So these things are expected. We should carry with them with us when we are planning for any particular field visit. You can also add some other points on your own. Prepare a questionnaire for a field visit to a factory. Now, questionnaire means list of the questions which we are going to ask. So this list means questionnaire will depend upon the place where you are visiting. Now, if we are preparing a questionnaire for a field visit to a factory, so the question will be a little bit different as compared to the questionnaire which we have prepared if we want to visit some coastal area or some other hospital. So the questionnaire will be different. So I mean to say, the list of questions which we are going to make, it depends upon the place where you're going to visit. So a questionnaire for a field visit to a factory will be as follows. You will be asking the persons who are staying there, what is the name of the factory? Next, what is the location of factory? Which product is manufactured? What are the raw materials used to make the final goods? From where do these raw materials come? Then in which market the final products are sold out? How many people are working? In how many shifts the people work? What are their timings? What safety measures are taken by the company for their precaution? What are the other precautions you are taking to avoid some fire hazard or any such, we can say, tragedy to happen in the future? What precautions have been taken to prevent and reduce the environmental pollution, and what mode of transport, that is bus, railways, use for movement of raw material, finished good, as well as the people who are coming to work in the factory. So such type of questions you can prepare. I again repeat, the questionnaire will depend the place where you are visiting. As per that, the questions will differ. Now let's proceed. With this, students, we have done the discussion of the assignment 1, which was based on your field visit. Now we are going to start with the revision of main points related to India and Brazil in chapter number 2, that is location and extent. So according to these lessons, let us have a look at the main points. According to this, we will see here the national capital, means capital of India is New Delhi, whereas the capital of Brazil is Brasilia. Then in India, we have the federal parliamentary republic type of government after getting independence. And in Brazil, we have federal parliamentary presidential republic type of government since 1985. According to population, India stands on second place. It is the second largest populated country in the world, and Brazil stands at fifth position as far the population is concerned. The famous sports which is played in India is cricket, and on the other hand side, football is the most famous sport which is played in Brazil. Next is India. Our country is well known and famous in the whole world for the spices, that is the masala items, cardamom, cinnamon, etc. Whereas in Brazil, coffee is the most important product which is manufactured, and because of coffee, Brazil is called as the coffee pot of the world because maximum amount of coffee production takes place in Brazil. Now in India, we have number of classical dances such as Kathakali, Bharatnatyam, Kathak, many more. So our India is famous for such type of dances, whereas in Brazil, we find the famous samba dance. Let's move on. Now let us see the longitude and latitudinal extent, how India and Brazil is spread out. So the longitudinal extent of India is 68 degrees 7 minutes east longitude to 97 degree 25 minutes east longitude. Whereas in case of Brazil, it is 34 degree 45 minutes west longitude to 73 degree 48 minutes west longitude. Now some important circles of latitudes are passing these two countries. So the Tropic of Cancer passes through the central part of India. Means from the central part, we can see this particular circle of latitude is passing. And next, in case of Brazil, two circles of latitude pass. Number one, the equator. It passes through the northern part of Brazil. And second circle is the Tropic of Capricorn, which passes through the southern part of Brazil. Now let us do some comparative study of historical background as well as the current status of both these countries. Let's go in the past. Now in India, as we know very well, Britishers were there for many years to rule. So the foreign rule, that is a British rule, was available in our country for nearly 1.5 century. Okay, and let's see about Brazil. Brazil was under Portuguese rule for nearly 3 centuries, means even more than the British rule in India. India got independence on 15th August 1947, so it is celebrated as Independence Day in India. And Brazil got its independence on 7th September 1822. Now, after getting independence, when India and Brazil started living their normal life, they faced number of problems after independence. So India has faced 3 wars and famines, okay? And in case of Brazil, the most important problem faced after independence was financial, related to money, okay? Loss of, or we can say availability of less money to do the development. Some other details about India and Brazil with respect to its historical. Now we have already studied some points which were related to historical. Now let us look about even the current status. Means now what is the position of India and Brazil as compared to other countries. India is one of the major developing countries. As you know, our country is developing day after day. And even today, according to the government of India, our most important motive is Vikas. Vikas means development. So it is considered to be as important global market. Means many other countries are interested to do their investment and selling of their products in India. So India is considered one of the important global market. After independence, many economic reforms, means changes, took place in India. Economic reform means the changes which are done in the economy so that the development in economy will take place. These reforms helped to increase the economic development. And so, because of these reforms or changes or new steps which are being taken, our country is proceeding towards the economic development. The most important point related to our country is that the proportion of the working population, means people who go to work in India, that is youth, young generation after college, that is comparatively high. This is a plus point and asset for India. And so India is considered as a young country in the whole world because the youth, means working population, is more as compared to children and old age people. Now let's discuss something more about Brazil. From 1930 to 1985, Brazil was under a populist military government. Okay. Next, Brazil is considered as one of the countries contributing to economic growth of the world and also a major global market. Same like India now, Brazil is also doing a lot of development, and so it is making its own contribution to bring about the economic growth of the whole world. And so Brazil is considered as one of the country which helps in development of the world, and it is considered as a global market where all other countries are interested in investing and selling their products. Let's move on. Now, in short, we will recollect and revise the most important point of this lesson, which will help us to do the revision. So the first point says that India is the second largest populated country in the world after China. Our country, India, is well known for manufacturing spices. Brazil is also known as a coffee pot of the world because maximum amount of coffee production is done in Brazil. Then Brazil is famous in the whole world for the samba dance. Capital of India is New Delhi, and on the other hand, capital of Brazil is Brasilia. In India, the southernmost tip is called as the Indira Point. This many a times it comes in the fill-up. Indira Point is located on 6 degree 45 minutes north parallel. These 2 points are often asked in fill-ups or one-line question answers. Number of states in India, here it is given 29, but now as last year some changes have taken place. So now there are 28 states in our country. India got independence from British rule on 15th August 1947, and on other hand, Brazil became free from Portuguese rule on 7th September 1822. Both the countries, that is India and Brazil, are having republic type of government. Now let us discuss about the location, where India is located. India is located in the northern part and eastern hemisphere, east direction and northern direction. And according to the continent of Asia, because our country is an Asian continent, according to Asia continent, India lies in the southern part. Now about Brazil. Brazil is located in the southern hemisphere, means the down part of the hemisphere as per the globe is concerned. Brazil is located in the western hemisphere. In the continent of South America, if you take South America in the map, Brazil is located in the northern and eastern part. And the important circle which passes to the middle of India, the important latitude, that is Tropic of Cancer. So these are the main points which are related to chapter number 2. Now, just now we have seen the location of both the countries. So let's try to understand. These are the different continents. Asia, here we have Europe, then we have Australia, then we have Antarctica, here it is Africa, then South America and North America. So these are the different continents. As per that, you can see the location of India here. Okay, and here you can see Brazil. Now here, see the color shade which is used for Brazil here, dark gray, and for India, they have used the checks, or we can say cross lines. So the symbols which we use should be different. Okay. Now here, if you see the circles which are passing, this is the line, that is the Tropic of Cancer, which passes through the center part of our country. Next, here you can see the equator. This is the equator line which passes through the northern part of Brazil. And at the bottom, you can see This is the Tropic of Capricorn, which is passing through the southern part of Brazil. And Brazil is lying in South America. We can see here South American continent. Okay, let's proceed. Now, based on this, let us try to revise few fill-ups and few question answers which are likely to be asked on chapter number 2. Fill in the blanks with the appropriate options. You get this first question according to your paper pattern. 4 fill-ups are asked. You are not supposed to write the options which are given in the bracket, but students are supposed to write the full sentence and underline the part which is your answer. Now just go through it and try to guess the answers, and then we will discuss now. So the first one, India's southernmost point is known as Indira Point. We have seen just now. Both the countries, that is India and Brazil, have the republic type of government. Number 3, Chile and Ecuador. These two countries in South America, they do not share their borders with Brazil. Then 4th, India shares the longest border with Bangladesh country. Then New Delhi is the national capital of India. Brasilia is the national capital of Brazil. Then last one, Brazil is seen as one of the world's major markets and contributor to economic growth of world. Now this we have discussed just now in this lesson. So I hope today's revision, what we have done about the important points, will definitely help you to prepare this lesson properly. Let's move on to few question answers. Identify the odd man out. Number 1, states in India. 4 states are given. We have Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Meghalaya, Marano. Okay. And number 2, it is given states in Brazil. A, Bahia, B, Bihar, C, it is Para, and number 4 is Acre. Okay. Now here you can see the answers are given down. Now in case of first question, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Meghalaya, all these are the states of India. So which is the odd one out? Marano. This is not an Indian state, so this is your answer. States in Brazil, Bahia, Para, and Acre. These are the states of Brazil. And Bihar is not a Brazilian state, it is Indian state. So the second one answer is B, Bihar. Are the sentences right or wrong? Rewrite the wrong ones. The first one we have just seen about the location. Brazil is mainly located in the southern hemisphere. The answer is right. Tropic of Capricorn passes through the middle of India. No, the answer is wrong. The correct sentence, Tropic of Cancer passes through the middle of India. The longitudinal extent of Brazil is less than India. Wrong. The longitudinal extent of Brazil is more than India. So as far as longitude is concerned, Brazil is spread out more on the hemisphere as compared to India. Equator passes through the northern part of Brazil. So this is correct. So the answer will be right. Brazil has a coastline along the Pacific Ocean. It is wrong. Brazil has a coastline along the Atlantic Ocean. Brazil is surrounded by North Atlantic Ocean and South Atlantic Ocean, and not the Pacific Ocean. Number 6, Pakistan is a neighboring country to the southeast direction of India. Wrong. Pakistan is a neighboring country to the northwest direction of India. The direction is different. The southern part of India is called the peninsula. Yes, the answer is right. The tapering part of India, which comes towards the south, is called as the peninsula. So the answer is right. Brazil was under Portuguese rule for 1.5 century. This is correct that Brazil was under Portuguese rule, but it was not for 1.5 centuries. So this is wrong. It was under the Portuguese rule for more than 3 centuries. So you have to correct your answer and write. Answer the following questions in one sentence each. Such type of questions are asked in the exam and each answer carries 1 mark. So you are supposed to write the answers in 2 to 3 sentences. In which hemispheres is India situated? Just now we have discussed India is situated in both northern hemisphere and it is towards the eastern hemisphere, means east direction. In which hemispheres is Brazil situated? Brazil is situated in the northern, southern, and western hemisphere because it is spread out in the different hemispheres. Which parallels of latitude pass through Brazil? We have seen 2 parallels of latitudes are passing through Brazil. one is equator, and the other is Tropic of Capricorn. Please write answers in full sentences. In this, you are expected to write the answer in 2 to 3 sentences. Now, give reason India is looked upon as a young country. Just now we have discussed this. Point number 1 is what? The proportion of youth in Indian population is high. Means more number of population belongs to young generation as compared to children and old age. So this forms a major part of working population. Now naturally the youth people means about 20 to 45, 50, they are going to work. So maximum part of Indian population is working population. According to 2011 census, the percentage of working population in India is more than 50%, which is an asset or a positive sign for India. And so India is looked upon as a young country. Please write answers in points and start your new point on a new line. Why Brazil is called as a coffee pot of the world? As I've told, maximum production of coffee takes place in Brazil. Number 1, Brazil ranks first. This is your first point in the whole world in terms of production of coffee. Means Brazil is the largest producer of coffee in the whole world. It stands on first place. And nearly 40% of the total total production of coffee of the whole world takes place only in Brazil, 40%. And because of that, Brazil has become the largest exporter of coffee to other countries of the world. So these are the 3 points why it is called as a coffee pot of the world. So you are supposed to write all these 3 points. What problems did Brazil and India face after independence? We have discussed these problems. We will revise them. Number 1 problem after independence. Brazil had faced many financial crises, means the shortage of finance to make the development. Within 20 years after independence, India has faced 3 wars. After independence, people from various parts of India coped up with severe famine. So along with 3 wars, India has also faced the problem of famines. After independence, India faced many financial difficulty, means lack of availability of money for making the development. And because of that, the rate of economic growth, means development, was less in India. But now slowly the situation has changed. How are Brazil and India different from each other in terms of location? It is according to the hemisphere where it is located. Let's discuss and which continent. We have revised this. India is located in northern and eastern hemisphere, means east direction of the earth. It is located in which continent? Asian continent. And which part of the Asian continent? Southern part, means down part. Some part of Brazil lies in northern hemisphere, as well as most of the part. Most means large amount of Brazil lies in the southern hemisphere, that is at the bottom, downward direction. Also, it lies in the western hemisphere, left side direction. It is located in the northeast part of the South American continent. Maximum part lies in the South American continent. Now let us write about the historical background and the current status. Means what was the historical background of India few years back and now where the India has rise up. Is there any development? So this is a revision. We have already done 2 to 3 times today. For nearly 1.5 century, India was under the British rule. We know that we got independence on 15th August 1957. So till that the Britishers were ruling on India. That since independence, India has followed the federal parliamentary republic type of government. Within 20 years after independence, India faced and it has also tried to overcome and solve the problems like 3 wars, plus it has faced famines as well as number of financial issues. Now all these are the problems which India has faced in the history, that is in the past. After that, India started making development, and now let us see what is the current status of India in the world. It is considered as one of the major developing countries, and that's why today the main intention of our government is development, that is Vikas. India is considered as one of the major global markets where all other countries, now we can take the example of China, they are interested to introduce their products and sell. After independence, number of changes, economic reforms means good changes took place which helped to bring about the economic development in India. Now, this also we have discussed that the proportion of youth, that is working people in India, is very high as compared to children and old people. That's why our country is called as a young country. Students, we have discussed enough fill-ups, question answers, points which are related to lesson number 2, that is location and extent. So I feel we have done enough revision of chapter number 2. Based on this revision, based on the notes which we are discussing, you are expected to complete your geography chapter number 2, lesson number 2 notes. Okay. You can refer the notes which we have discussed today. You can refer your textbook. You can refer any other good, reliable source from where you can get good information, and you can present your answers in your own words in a better way. So please students, start completing your geography workbook in neat and clean handwriting. We are going to do the revision of all the lessons till lesson number 6. So in this revision period, you have that time to complete your notes, and completing notes will automatically help you to revise each chapter, and you will develop confidence on one topic. Now today's assessment I have given you to practice. It is based on chapter number 2. Again, it is of 20 marks. Same way as the question comes in the exam, the questions are given. In case of fill-ups, choose the correct alternative and complete the sentence. Write this full sentence. Write the answer in the blank line. Underline. There is no need to write these options. Match the following. Left hand side, you will write the question. Right hand side, you will write the answer. Name the following. You are supposed to write the answers directly. All answers you are supposed to write only in points, students. Okay. Now here also one question is given. Observe the map and answer the following question. It is given, read map 2.1 shown on textbook page number 10. So this map you have to refer. Try to answer the questions which are based on that. So you will get a practice how to solve the questions which are based on maps. Okay. So this is an assignment, home assignment given to you for practicing, students. Please take it sincerely. You read these questions, you search the answers from your books, you thoroughly prepare all these answers, practice it again and again, revise them. And when you feel confident that, okay, now after closing book also I'm able to recollect these answers, that time you set your time, 1 hour time, and start solving it on your own sincerely to check your honesty and to check how well you have prepared chapter number 2. If you do this sincerely, students, definitely you will get good marks in your final exam. Okay, so this is a home assignment. As I've told you, you can do this in your rough book, or you can do it on a full scape, and all that full scapes which you have solved based on assessments, that you can keep in one file. So you will have a proper revision of all the tests which we are doing and solving in our lectures. Okay, so I hope you all will be able to do this. You take a screenshot of this, you take a photo of this paper. First, you revise this everything for 2 to 3 days, revise all the questions, fill-ups, match the following, everything. And then sincerely, you try to solve so that you will come to know whether in 1 hour you are able to complete this paper in neat and clean handwriting according to the board pattern. So best wishes to all of you. With this, students, today we have done the revision of chapter number 2. Along with that, I have also given you a small assessment. Please revise chapter number 2, read textbook 6 to 7 times, revise all the notes, and solve the assessment on your own sincerely, student. With this, Karuna teacher is saying bye to you. Stay at home, stay safe, and do take care of yourselves. Bye.